forward to this.
This is Grey Paladin, and welcome back to part 2, the review of my Saberforge, the Count. For the purpose of this video, I'm wearing white gloves because the polished mirrored finish on the saber really does pick up a lot of fingerprints, so I like it to look as nice as possible as I'm presenting and showing it to you. I'll first begin with the dimensions. From the tip of the claw down to the clamp over the edge of the pommel, it has a length of 15.5 inches. If you do not count the claw and just go from the tip of the emitter to the base of the clamp around the pommel, it has a length of 12.25 inches. Let's check the diameter. At the body where you grip, there is our dimension, 1.3 inches. And it's significantly wider at the pommel, so the diameter there almost 2 inches. And if you count the shroud piece that's over the body, almost 1.5 inches. There you go. It has a blade depth of 2 inches. So the blade will go into the emitter 2 inches. So nice and solid, good and deep. The saber has, I believe, 6 parts. 7 if you count the little things that can come apart. But the pommel is one piece. This little clamp on the outside is removable. And the pommel goes up to the edge of this black ring here. Then you have this elbow piece, and that connects to the body of the saber. And that is surrounded by a mirrored shroud. Then you have the emitter from here to the top. And then underneath the saber, the claw runs the full length all the way into the elbow. So if you want to take this saber apart, you have to remove, or should remove, the claw first, and then you can unscrew the elbow. The pommel will unscrew from the elbow with the claw still attached, though. It does have a red switch here underneath, and I'll get into that when I talk about holding the saber. The saber, like I said, is polished with a mirrored chrome finish with brass screw accents, a red activation switch, a black CoverTech wheel, and it has this nice gold button on top. It looks like an accent piece. However, I think this would be really nice if it could be an auxiliary switch. And in my part 1 video, I talked about how I would like to make it so, but I was not able to get that off. And like I said, the claw is removable. Though all of this is aluminum, the claw, at least the body of it, is, I don't want to say plastic, but it's like a flexible, almost a fiberglass type material. And then the claw itself up here does feel like aluminum. You have a few screws here underneath, 1, 2, 3, and there's a very small skinny one, 4, up here at the emitter. You have to unscrew all of those to remove the claw. And then you also have the LED or neopixel adapter retention screw, and then you also have the blade retention screw right here underneath. Retention here and retention there. Very beautiful hilt. It's considered a curved hilt. However, if you notice, the curve is very, very slight in the emitter. It's not very much here, as you can see. Let's say, for instance, the Saberforge Bane or the Saberforge Vanquish, which has a true curve in the body. This one, the body is straight, and then the emitter has a very slight curve. And then underneath, where you don't really hold, is the elbow crook that angles it down one direction. So it's considered a curved hilt. However, the saber itself is not really all that curved. It just looks that way because of the elbow crook and then the very slight degree of curve in the emitter. This particular saber is installed with a Crystal Focus 10 soundboard, and it has a activation switch on the bottom here and an auxiliary switch on the top. So you can teeter between the two or press the red button down all together and activate both buttons at the same time if you want to go into your spectrum and things like that in settings. This saber is very comfortable to hold. As you can see, the body yields for a nice grip, but you can also grip up here at the emitter, which is extremely comfortable. And when you see Dooku activate his saber and do his saber salute, he's holding it at that point at the emitter in front of his face to do his saber salute, and then he brings it down at the side ready to duel. Because of that, this saber actually is comfortable to hold with two hands, where most curved hilt lightsabers are designed and seem best used with one hand. This can be comfortably held with one or two. And for that very reason, when it comes to saber electronics, trying to access the power button on the bottom here when you're trying to, what it's designed to hold here and up here, can be a bit of a task trying to get to your activation down here. So having two hands works great, because now I can use my pinky for my auxiliary switch right up there, or if I grip it just a little bit lower, I can use my pinky to activate the auxiliary switch for blaster deflection and saber lock and all that good stuff. But if you're holding here and swinging and wielding, it's going to be very difficult. You're going to have to use the second hand to come down to turn the saber on or off. However, when it is on your belt, when you initially grab the saber, your hand is going to be right there up by the belt clip. So it's very easy to turn the saber on when you pull it off of your belt. But once you're already swinging, you have to finagle your hand down a little bit or just use the second hand when you're swinging away. Another close-up here. As you can see, it's polished very nicely. That mirrored finish is really, really nice. Especially in the back there, you can see the reflection of the room very well. And my hand. This is a brushed aluminum here at the elbow, which I think adds a nice touch. And you also have the brushed aluminum right above the base of the pommel. This shroud is an individual piece, so that does slide right off, but it's held in place by this screw here when you attach the claw. And then your polished emitter, this gold top, which is a very nice accent, matching the brass screws in the pommel and the elbow. And then the claw, also polished, mirrored aluminum. The recharge port is in the base of the pommel. It's in the bottom there with the kill key. I'll go ahead and pull that now. There are two fonts loaded on this lightsaber. The first is Duke by Ksith, and the second is the Count's Claw by Kyberphonic. Duke is supposed to be modeled after the movies, and the Kyberphonic, the Count's Claw, is modeled after the Clone Wars animated series. Bottom switch is activation, top switch is auxiliary.
Twice the pride, double the fall.
Equipped with smooth swing. I tap my auxiliary up top for my blaster deflection. I hold for my lockup. And then I got my force. Flashes.
Back down. The Force is with us, Master Sidious.
And next font.
Sound bank selection.
Count Dooku, I'm looking at another dead Jedi. I'll show you the true power of the dark side.
This has a 24mm speaker inside. Not as strong and bassy as a 28, but it still serves its purpose well.
Still face the wrath of the dark side. Typical Jedi. Brave, but stupid.
And then I have some
Sound bank selection.
I'm looking at another.
Audio player.
some tracks loaded on here from the movies.
I'll show you the true power of the dark side.
This theme song.
As you see, my Jedi powers are far beyond yours. Now, back down.
I don't think so.
This is the Yoda battle scene with Dooku.
I'll show you the true power of the dark side.
So this is a very nice saber. I think Saberforge did a great job designing this. It might be just slightly larger than some other designs and maybe the actual movie prop, but I do like the way it looks. I like the way it feels. It's great to hold. It's great to swing. And please check my next video, part 3, where I'll do an active demo with the saber and the blade in. I hope you enjoyed this review, and hopefully this will inspire you to get your own Count Dooku lightsaber, weapon of a more civilized age. Thank you very much for watching, and may the Force be with you.
You have fought gallantly, worthy of recognition in the archives of the Jedi Order. Now, it is finished. Surrender, and your lives will be spared.